Okay, part 3. So now I'm going in with this Morphe brow definer, I think it's called. Yeah, definer brow pencil in the color chocolate mousse. Okay, now that the brows are browing, I am going to go in with a little bit of this Tarte concealer underneath. And I'm really going to just focus it right at the brow bone. So now I'm going to go with my MAC 242S brush. And I'm just going to carry a little bit of that product to the front, not too much, because most of our face is already done. So we don't want to create more work for ourselves. And I'm going to put this on my lid. Now with the same brush I blended out my concealer with, I'm going to go through and blend out that lid. And coming up doing makeup, I feel like I was always so scared to blend like a cream and a powder, even a little bit, because I feel like that fear was instilled, like do not put cream over powder. But now I do it, especially because I haven't baked yet. I only put a little bit of setting powder. So I am going to go through the eyebrow portion and just blend that out a little bit to make it look more natural, even though we've already sat down that part. As you can see, it blended out really nice. Okay, so now let's actually bake. I'm gonna go in with this, again, Dermablend powder that we've been using the whole time, and bake. Okay, so now that I'm baked, really where I wanted to stay and focus is underneath my eyes. So the other spots, I'm just gonna go through and push the product in. And I do go up in my nose just a little bit. Make sure I get on those sides of my nose. And just keep doing that until it's mostly pressed in. And just up through the eyes a little bit. Not too much though. If you're doing eyeshadow, make sure you don't do this part. You should be leaving that lid a little bit wet at least. So whatever colors you're putting on are going to be pigmented, no matter if they're drugstore eyeshadows or if they're Color Rain eyeshadows. Okay, so with that powder on, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go in with this Juvia's cream contour in a color Amber. I'm using my contour brush from Real Techniques. And remember, I went too far out with that concealer, so I'm going to make sure I really bring that contour in so I can recreate my highlight arch. I like to stay, when I conceal with a brighter color, I like to stay in between the arches of my eyebrows. I like it to stay in between that, if that makes sense. And I also like to bring it down on the forehead. My forehead's already big enough. If I was to keep the concealer extended and make my contour really thin, my head would appear bigger, especially like in pictures. But since I do this, it makes it just look a little bit smaller. Not that it's an issue, especially because, I mean, obviously my forehead's there, you know? Like, it's okay. And I like to have a full face. I don't really be liking the bang because it's aggravating. I like how it looks, but having a bang is so... like, it just be messing with my eyes or something. And really, whatever shape you want your face to be is what you're making with this contour. So keep that in mind when you're doing your contour. Don't just put the contour where you see other people making videos put in their contour. Make sure you start making your makeup routine for your face and not just because you seen a girl in a video and it looked good on her, because some stuff that looks good on other people can totally change your face. So always look out for little things like that. I'm just gonna blend this out and then I'll be right back. When I do my contour, I also like to bring it through my lids a little bit, right where my crease would be. If I was doing eyeshadow and I would be putting a darker color, the darkest color, that is where I'll put my contour. And then I also just try to blend it up just a little bit through the brows before I do the actual nose contour. And if you're using a fat brush, make sure you squeeze it so you can get you a nice thin line. Okay, now that we're almost done, I'm going to go in with this Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. And I'm going to use the same brush that I put on blush with. I'm going to put my finished powder on with. And I do that because I like for the excess of the blush to go around my face. So it brings back that like fleshy tone into my face. And doesn't give me like an ashy look. And it really just makes it look like an even skin when I use this blush brush to put on my setting or my finished powder, the Micro Smooth Sephora powder. And as y'all can see, I still kind of have that powder in the in the corners of my eyes. I try to really make that the last thing I do, get that powder off, because I like that little last minute bake. If you take your powders off in layers, you'll be able to see like the color depending on how much you bake or how much powder you use. You'll be able to, it'll be like a gradual color, and that's what you want. You always want your makeup to give a gradient look. You don't really want harsh lines unless that's your thing, because that is some people's thing. Some people like that vibe. Like if you're in your emo or your like Wednesday vibes or your black girl out vibes, that's like your vibe. Okay, so now we have a lot of creams, we have a lot of things mixed together, so I do like to go in and do a little set more than what I've done with the Micro Smooth Powder. So I'm going to go in with this Warrior 2 palette. This is a holy grail for me. This is like my second one. I always keep it around. And the pots are, you know, pretty big. They are pretty deep, I should say. So I'm going to go in with that color to set our contour. Give it a little bit of a darker, more earthy tone, because the cream, it kind of has a dark but like skin red undertone, which is good in combination with this earthy tone brown. Even though this brown is still warm, it's just a little less red undertone, the powder from the cream. And I am getting very close to my eyebrows because I want to make sure there's no halo. And I'm just re-solidifying our arch, making sure the contour next to the hairline is really set down, and just giving us a nice shadow to work with. So I'm going to be using this blush, but I like to, with that eyeshadow color, I like to put it kind of here as a blush to go with our gradient darker red tone back there. Then I'm going to go into this orange, and I'm going to work them both into each other and kind of stay right by the corner of my eye. So any harsh lines, I'm going to get those covered. So you can see harsh line here, barely a harsh line there. Just keep blending it through until you don't see it anymore at all. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with Diamonds Make Me Blush by Be Fierce Beauty by B. Marie. And I'm going to first go in with this color, and then I'm going to go in with this color. So as you can see, it's very pigmented. That's really all you need right there. Will do you good. And then, and with this color, Make sure you come to part 4 to see if I finish this look ever.